Now, this is doing the rounds quite a lot at the moment. The law of attraction, they call it. I've been talking about this for years in terms of what you put out is what you pull back. This energy that we're generating that can now be photographed and can certainly be felt when you meet someone and you say, oh, I got bad vibes from them, or I got good vibes from them, depending on their own state of being. This energy is the energy that creates our reality, because it attracts to us a reflection of itself, and what that energy reflects is our inner self, our emotional, spiritual, and mental state. So when we feel fear, we attract to us fear. We attract to us what we most fear. And this is the ultimate evolutionary genius. It's what I call designer evolution. Because of this system of what we put out is what we get back, we constantly see a reflection of our inner self in our everyday life. Therefore, we can see our inner self in a physical way and learn from the experience and move on. Also, fear is the greatest block on evolution. Whatever area that we fear, that our fear relates to, is a no-go area for our evolution. Because people don't normally say, well, I fear that, I'm going to face it. They go, oh, no, thank you very much, change the subject, not going in there. So this process of drawing to us what we put out means that we have to face what we're putting out, so we can face it and evolve. So when we fear something, we draw what we fear to us eventually. When we put out anger, we draw to us anger. When I was having my angry period, in the 1970s particularly, my life was a series of angry confrontations. I was working in the media and the BBC and all that stuff, and wherever I went, I was attracting angry people all the time. Even if I was in an apparently consciously calm state, my subconscious anger is still going out there and it's still pulling in angry people. Someone comes into a bar in that period and they'd had a bad day, they found me every time. And then I realized, and I started to ask a few questions, what's the common denominator of all these angry confrontations? Oh yes, it's you. So what goes on? What's causing them? Why? I started to realize, because I was angry, I was attracting anger. There was a lovely song that I came across by an American group which said, if you hold anger, guess what comes to you? A lot of very angry people do. And I certainly know that to be true. And when I've observed my own life and the lives of others, it's very obvious that what they're putting out in their state of being is creating their physical life. And there's nothing more debilitating, more controlling and limiting than the victim mentality. We're encouraged by this manipulation throughout our lives to see ourselves as victims, to blame someone else. Oh, I'm a victim, I'm in this situation because of A, B, C, D, and on it goes. And when we're in that state, we're going to stay in that state, because when you think you're a victim, the victim vibe goes out, the victim circumstance goes in. When you say, hey, I'm not a victim, I'm in control of my life, I've created these circumstances I don't like, therefore I can create circumstances I do. At that point, the victim mentality's gone. Victim circumstances stop being attracted, and suddenly people come into your life who are just the people you need to get you out of the circumstances you don't like. And if you don't realize what's happening, and most of us don't at the time, we say, oh my God, mate, I was so lucky. This fella came into my life at just the right time, this person, I couldn't believe it. Amazing luck. No. You pulled them in because your state of being had changed and you synced with what you needed to get out of that situation. We are so in control of our destiny, it's unbelievable. And yet billions are persuaded they're not, and therefore they create a very different reality. So if we're in fear, we can attract a reflection of fear. But when we emit love, we create a very different energy. Therefore, we create a very different reality. It's just a choice. Everything is just a choice. I keep hearing people say, oh, I had no choice, mate. I had to do it. We never have no choice. We have choices we'd like to make, choices we'd rather not make, but we never have no choice. It's a cop-out. And some people find it very difficult to take this on because it's much easier in their own mind to blame someone for what happens in our lives. Much more of a challenge to say, hey, I've created this. I'm responsible for it. But when you do, you stop creating what you don't like and you start creating what you do.
I hope you enjoyed today's message. Here is a takeaway from today's video. The statement that we are so in control of our destinies because what we put out determines what we pull in is a powerful reminder that we have the ability to shape our lives in a significant way. The idea comes from the teachings of David Icke, which emphasize the importance of our thoughts and emotions in creating our reality. According to David, the universe operates on the principle of the law of attraction, which means that we attract into our lives whatever we focus on and give our attention to. In other words, the thoughts and emotions that we put out into the world are like a magnet that draws similar experiences and circumstances back to us. This means that if we focus on positive thoughts, we are more likely to attract positive experiences into our lives. On the other hand, if we focus on negative thoughts, we are more likely to attract negative experiences. So, in a very real sense, we are in control of our destinies because we have the power to choose what we focus on and put out into the world. By consciously choosing to focus on positive thoughts and emotions, even in the face of adversity, we can begin to shift our energy and attract more positive experiences into our lives. This requires a commitment to self-awareness and a willingness to take responsibility for our own thoughts and emotions. But the rewards can be profound as we begin to see our lives transform in ways that we never thought possible. In essence, what David is saying is that we are co-creators of our own reality. We have the power to shape our lives through the thoughts and emotions that we put out into the world. By consciously choosing to focus on positivity and abundance, we can begin to create the life that we truly desire. I hope you enjoyed today's message. See you in the next video.